Oh, that's cool.
Just bear with us, folks. New program. I don't know what's going on. Everybody, this is the Three Wheels of Wrestling podcast. Yes, another wrestling podcast. As we're having little technical difficulties with this new platform, we're trying to pull up our music video here, and it's not doing nothing. All right. Well, I'm really tiny, and my guest hosts today are LA Willie and
Yeah.
maybe Will the Thrill. And we have our guest with us. I can't do it. I just can't do
Get
it.
it? Oh,
Bri-
it.
Brian, would you mind doing your own introduction for us, please?
Oh, I'm Brian Murphy from the world famous Monster Factory. I'm joined at this time by the Three Wills. Well, two of the Three Wills at this current moment.
You do so great at doing your introductions.
Oh, thank you. It's been a really fun thing. It kind of just came about after doing interviews and we practiced promos like that, and then it just kind of stuck.
No problem.
All right. So let's just jump right in. I don't understand. The videos were playing, but now they're not. All right. So, what got you into wrestling?
Well, actually, when I was younger, hello, Jason. Yeah, when I was younger, I had a couple of my friends get a copy of SmackDown versus Raw 2010, and we just loved the video game aspect of it. And I think from
Yes.
that they started learning like getting into the show. And right as I started being like, okay, all right, let me check this out too. They found out that it was predetermined, we'll say, and they totally were like, whatever, it's whatever. And I was like, well, I don't see the issue with it. So I just kind of continued from there, and for a very long time, I was like the only wrestling fan that I knew. I knew like one other kid named Nate who was like we clung to each other just because like we were the only people we could talk about wrestling and understand what the other was saying. And as time went on, I was kind of thinking like, yeah, like I like theater. I feel like I could maybe do this. I wasn't like physically there. There are oftentimes I still don't feel physically there, but yeah, I just was like, all right, this is what I really want to do with my time, and it's really returned uh, in that realm of like how I spend my time, the people I've met. Um, yeah, across the board, like it has been such an enriching experience.
It's interesting. Um, how long have you been at the Monster Factory?
It's a bit of a weird timeline because I actually started in I think it was August of 2021, and then like a month after, like right at the start of September, I I was totally like, yeah, I can do a bump in the ring when I had no business doing that yet. And somehow I twisted my ankle like really bad. So I was on crutches for a little bit. My leg hypertrophy or atrophied, and because I didn't really properly come back or train it back, I tore my ACL like December 2021, and I didn't get surgery until April So I only really started. I really only started training like April 2023, and then I kept almost having my first match, but then that kind of came to fruition in January of this year, and since then it's been mainly wrestling with a little bit of commentary in there. Hey, Will the Thrill.
How you doing, Will?
Hey, well, speechless. Very tiny.
Tell us about the times you were doing ring introductions.
Yeah, I so when recovering from the ACL surgery, I was like, well, I got to do something in the meantime. Um,
Finally, I want to
it
apologize.
became commentary and ring announcing, uh, especially commentary. I got to work with Ferran Burgundy a lot. Um, he's been at the factory a good minute. I've also had the pleasure of working on commentary with more often these guys. It's sporadically a bunch of people, but Brian Morris on TRL, love doing commentary with him. Paul Ripley. Yeah, there's. I think I had that as like a featured post on my profile for a while. He Brian Morris is one of those guys I could sing the praises of forever. Um, and Pete Carter, who I have the pleasure of working with over at AXW, him and BP are outstanding there. So I did speech and debate all throughout my time in like high school and college, and that's me really sweaty at Taco Fest last year. Well, I got to manage Oliver. I I love doing that too. Being a heel is so fun as a manager because you can just talk, all sorts of smack, and then like you get like a little comeuppance in the end. Um, and yeah, so I got into commentary for a while, and then sorry, I think my earbud might have switched off. Let me know if I'm back with you.
You're good.
You're still with us.
Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, I did. I just focused on that stuff. Learned from some really great people. David Adams is another great commentary. Ring announcer in the area, and yeah, it was a nice marriage of like those speech skills that I haven't been able to exercise since leaving that, and being able to incorporate that into pro wrestling.
So I want to go back when I said I couldn't do it. The introduction. I was doing it on purpose because how you come out like you say I'm Brian Murphy and I'm from the world famous Monster Factory. It just pops.
Yeah.
Everybody pops. It's just so great. That's what I wanted to get out of you.
Yeah. That came about. From getting into the groove of like doing interviews and stuff, and I started doing these like tiny mic interviews, which I really got to bring back one day. But it always started out with that, and then I'm walking into training one day, and like I got people like, "Oh, Brian Murphy from the world famous Monster Factory," and it just kind of caught on. And eventually it became the bit, and now before I don't have an official name yet for when I run into people in the corner with my butt, but that's the big line beforehand. I'm Brian Murphy from the world famous Monster Factory. Run into that. That's one of my. I think that's a pic from Just Sky. That is one of my favorite pictures she ever took. Not just because my arm wasn't great that big, but I think that's with Isaac Taylor, who's a great member of our roster.
Yes. Yeah. Shout out to Jess Guy. Most of the pictures here.
Yeah.
Beautiful as always.
Oh, Will, are you ready to
Which
go?
one?
Will the Thrill.
I hope
You
I'm in
want
like a
to?
dungeon. The service. I'm out by the mountain, so my service isn't
Okay.
the best.
Ah,
You got number 6?
Yeah. Wait, isn't that okay? You do it all at the Monster Factory. Okay. What else do you do there?
well, let's see. I've been a commentator, a ring announcer, an in-ring interviewer, a backstage interviewer. I've done the wrestling, of course. Um, let's see. I've also, I mean, we also try to wear as many hats as possible in terms of like setup, breakdown. I got to shout out like Chris Desmond, the God of Dad Bod. They are both great leaders when it comes to that. So they're really uh, leaders in terms of like helping set up, break down, assigning jobs, and that's another thing where it's like even the backstage stuff. I've worked switcher before. I've worked the music, I think, at least once. There came a point that I was just kind of like doing commentary, and that was like the main thing. In terms of like in front of the camera roles, I've done like a little bit of managing, just like a little bit. Way back when we did a Factory Friday, and
All
that's
right, the suit. The suit.
Yes, sir.
yeah. I wore that into TRL one night, and Ferran Burgundy, his bit is burgundy, and I
Hmm.
wasn't even thinking about it. I was just like, burgundy's a nice color. I want a suit like that. And I walk in, he's like, brother, gimmick infringement. I'm like, I didn't mean to. But yeah, I really do, and yeah, I need to bring it out more. I get a little lazy, and I'm like, I'll just put on the t-shirt, which happens to be available on hey, Cameron Cheers. It happens to be available on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Let's
Go
go.
check it out. Children of Heart, Children of Heart. But yeah, sorry, I think oh yeah, I've done a little bit of managing. And yeah, I'm trying to think of like, I don't know if there's a lot of other roles available. I haven't refereed. I have not refereed. That is one thing. It's probably for the best. I would stink. I would suck as a referee.
So,
Yeah.
what has been your favorite match so far?
Ooh.
Mm.
There are maybe three that come to mind as like my personal favorites. I think that one I want to say was after Isaac Taylor, and I was running to hug Stevie Brooks and Christian Darling after they helped. So I think the God of Dad Bod match the second time because that was part of the debut match, or the like debut like angle or whatever. And I'm still super green. I was like green as all heck at that time. Shout out to God of Dad Bod for helping me through that. But we were trying to go out there and be like, all right, let's be as entertaining as possible. We got this guy who's been a commentator. The idea is like, oh, we gotta, he wants to be on the shows. And so, we're working with like, I'm getting like very little offense, and the offense that I am getting is like, I'm getting on his back and doing like I'm like piggybacking him basically. And he's beating the crud out of me. Doing that was really fun, and I really appreciate him, working with me on that. My second match with Liam Black, which is the first time I had, I think, the headband, which I need to bring out more. But I was really trying to get over this idea of like I'm trying to get like a new move. I'm trying to find my move. So that was the overhead chop, and that was I don't something about that move just is like really satisfying from like the second rope. So I really enjoyed that, and Liam is so athletic. He is an outstanding individual, and so hello, I he's so athletic, and I'm so gracious to like be able to share the ring with people that gifted, you know. So there was that match, and then the one with Jake Manley, which was the end of the streak. He's also somebody that's very technically gifted. His like German suplexes are like so easy to take somehow. It's one of those things where you be a lot. I was like nervous going into it, but then like we practiced a couple times in the crash pad. Like, oh, okay, you know. So yeah.
LA, you got the next one.
All right. What does children at heart mean to you, and explain what it's like working with the King Piece?
Yes, the King Beast.
King
I
Beast.
think I see him in the chat still. Yeah. First and foremost, Cam is such a great like spirit to work with. There have been many times where I've had the jitters, and like I'm looking to him. I hope I'm not putting too much pressure on him. I'm looking to him like, oh man, like it's just gonna go all right. And he's grounding. Children of heart, children of heart. He's grounding, and it's just like, dude, like we got this. You know what you're doing. I know what I'm doing. The people we're working with, they know what they're doing. We're gonna go out, and even if like something goes awry, that's what happens. We get back to what we need to be doing. Um, so what it means, yeah, what Children of Heart means to me, um, I would say it kind of, I mean the way it came about, the name as well, is there was we were going to have like a four quarters elimination tag, and it's the night that Mike Z turned on Max Sterling, and Mark Raspin Jr. had just tagged with Cam, and the rationale was like, well, Mark Raspin Jr.'s, he's not here today, so how can we, who would be like, I guess, like a fitting character, and like, I'm kind of a kid at heart, so Children at Heart was born, and then we had that match. And then there was a little bit of a gap of time. And then we brought it to TRL, and man, that was it's been a great run, and uh, I feel like I've really like, despite the fact that Rasper Araya brother, despite the fact that like Kim's like almost like half my age, I want to say. Let's see, he's 14, I'm 26. Uh, like he's teaching me stuff, like he's on that next level, and I'm so excited for everything he's gonna do in his career. Like like I'm hoping he faces himself with the bumps and stuff like that. He's always like so eager and willing and like ready to get in there and like not afraid to do the stuff. I think he's got so much ahead of him.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see something here. This new pro platform's killing me.
Oh no.
Don't feel bad. I was having issues too, my friend.
No.
I have a video. Try to work this.
Here, let's see. In the meantime, I can try to vamp.
I don't understand.
He's smashing that keyboard. You hear?
I
I'd
just
say okay.
I don't understand why it's not working.
Hey, yeah, the new programs and what have you.
Yeah, I have a video here from Cam, and like the music video's not loading. This video's not loading. This new program. I feel so bad.
With it.
I can envision it in my brain. I can envision him putting me over. The hardest working guy at the factory should be Monster Factory champion. All these things.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you when this is over. So, who's next?
L.A. Willie.
No, you're next. Will to Thrill.
12-0 to 12-1. What does this record indicate?
It was got a lot of videos of yeah. So 12-0 to 12-1. I feel like I've tried to reflect a little bit of my like personal journey and relationship with wrestling a little bit in this. Like character wise, I kept like fluking into wins and getting roll ups. Like when I would talk to people who don't really know wrestling about like what do I do in wrestling, because like I'm not always like the type of person that like the first thing people think is like you'd be a wrestler. I believe I get that. I'd be like, like the bit is like I trip and I fall and I pin somebody. That's kind of how these things get set up. So that was the bit for a while, and I think wanting that authenticity, which I think a lot of people when they like jump into the industry, they're always like hoping for. They kind of always envision themselves like ascending towards that mountaintop. I think that that drove like a motivation character wise for like, oh well, I want like a finishing move like a real wrestler. And so I was trying to abandon the roll up because of that. And then there was, I don't know how clear I got it across, but there was a moment in that match where it came to an end with Jake Manley from the jump when we started like just started wrestling. I guess almost a year ago. But yeah, I in that match with Jake Manley where it ended, I tried slipping in like, oh, I could have gone for a schoolboy. Maybe it could have worked. Hesitated though, and that gave him a second to get away. And like, who knows, what it could have been. But ever since that started, that we were building up the thing, I was always like, Jake's amazing, and it's got to be him. It's got to be our guy. So now we're kind of in the second act, so to speak, where it's kind of like I'm picking up losses, and I think the record now. Let's see, I think it was him, Nick, Fozzy, Samuel Fozzy. By the way, what a wrestler!
Great talent.
What a guy!
Great talent.
Amazing. And Caden, so I think now it's like 12-4. So yeah, it's been coming along.
Has anybody gone 12-0, 12-1 at Friday nights? I think you're the only one.
I'm not too sure. I know Paul. Definitely, as y'all may know him. He had a list for a while. By the way, I forget if I put him over when talking about commentary because I really love working with him too, and also just like excellent, love him. But he had a list for a while. If you don't include the battle royals, because I guess technically I lost in those. Yeah, I don't know that anybody has. Now, granted, I like it. I don't know if Goldie or Brett have ever been defeated on like TRL.
Okay.
I don't know if they're as frequent on it. I think we kind of reserve them Saturday, like those big shows. But Yeah, I don't know that anybody else has. Yeah.
So, Brian, what makes you unique?
I think at this juncture, um, the thing like I think the thing that I'm really striving for is to bring that comedy end. Like I think there can be a spot in any card, depending on like the flavor of wrestling too. But things
Hmm.
can be comedic. There are going to be some situations where it can kind of be grounded still, and then some where it's kind of like, Cornette's going to hate this, you know. Um, it, I think there can be somebody to fill that spot, ideally on any card, and I think long term, what I hope to contribute to pro wrestling, yeah, if I might be so blessed to be able to then significant to the industry, would be like with storytelling. I think it's not the I don't know, pretentious or whatever, coolest form of storytelling. It is the most simple form of conflict. Just like you have two people in a physical match, and like we've seen it over decades, the wild places that it can go, and we can take it. And I think especially in the last few years, like we've really seen an evolution of like storytelling within the industry. Like Gabe Sapolsky was talking about the factory recently. Like, in the 2000s, it was really is really like high paced moves, and it was all about like the work rate. And now we're getting really into the story oriented stuff with the bloodline. And in AEW, they have had Swerve and Hangman, and Kenny and Hangman as well. I guess Hangman's just like really tearing it up over there. Um, and that's why I love to see it. Like I think wrestling can be so much, and I don't know, like to be able to play within that arena would be phenomenal. I love that.
Yes.
If I could describe you, I would say you remind me of a mixture of Cole Cabana and Nick Dismore, Eugene in WWE.
See the Copacabana.
when when I started wrestling, that was the one comparison I got all the time was, who you remind me of? Eugene, in the best way possible. And I was
Yeah, of
like,
course. He's
yeah,
very talented. He's very talented.
he really is.
Yes,
He
he is.
really is.
Yes, he is.
Uh, him and like Cole Cabana honestly has been somebody that I've been like trying to study the tape and like go back and like really look at comedy wrestling, because like I didn't realize until I started like really looking in how much he really contributed to comedy within wrestling.
Mhm.
And it is like laugh out loud funny, just like slapstick stuff. It's almost um I don't want to say it's necessarily it's not the same as Mel Brooks, but it reminds me of Mel Brooks in the way that it's like it can be so like not stupid like that stupid, but like it just so like low key that you can't help but laugh. It's just like there are spots where it's like that's so dumb. I love it. If that makes sense. Not dumb like bad. Hey hey hey.
For
Um,
sure. For sure. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't want to go out the order of questions, but I did see the
No,
question.
it's
Thank you
okay.
all for the kind comments in the chat. I did want to answer the one regarding Missy and Dan. Um, they're so knowledgeable. There are sometimes like Dan will describe something, and I don't think we like necessarily get it until we reach that moment, and then everything just like clicks. And like whether that be for like booking stuff or like match psychology or like things like that, um, he has like so much insight and knowledge. And then Missy, on top of being just like very like you really see the care that she has for the locker room. Um, she's like also like the, her time in the industry, just like listening to her talk about the experiences she's had and people she's been able to meet, outstanding in its own right. Uh, but yeah, I think she really is able to break down wrestling into a very connected way. Like it's very easy to connect with, very accessible, if that makes sense. So yeah. Um, and for Joe Hill asking about thoughts on World Renowned, all three of those guys are outstanding, and Christian Rocco too, because formerly World Renowned before they turned their back on him. How could they? Nick Petit, our current heavyweight champion, is so talented with his. I think he's kind of cut from the theater cloth as well. Um, and that really shows in his entertainment style. Um, Chris Desmond does amazing things that I could never envision doing with like the flips he does, and just like it's outstanding. I think his match with Mark Raspet Jr. was like a great example of that, where they did the power bomb off of the ring apron, like they did like the, I don't even know what you would call it, almost like a stun gun, but bounce off the midsection and into a power bomb, outstanding. And then Brian Morris is like, dude, like one of my all time like man, like he looks out for everybody, and also just has such like a great mind when it comes to wrestling. Chris Desmond's outstanding, man. Yeah. But yeah, like all three of those guys deserve so much of the accolades and success that they have found. And yeah, of course.
Will the thrill? The
Yeah.
time has come.
Murphy! All right. We ask all our
Yes, sir.
guests this question. We ask our guests all this question all the time. All right? So, it's an honor and a privilege to ask you, my friend, this. Your dream
Sure.
matchup, past, present, future, alive, dead, rest their soul. The stipulation, who's going over, and where.
Ooh. All right. I think two things come to mind, because I think if I had to like buckle down and pick one, I think Kevin Owens might be the one. He was somebody that when I was getting into the industry, or well, yeah, I guess getting into the industry. I was a big dude, and Kevin Owens, I think, kind of has a reputation for being like a big dude, and so instantly, like looking to him, I was like, oh, if he could do it, I could do it, and going back through and watching like his Intercontinental Championship run, his Universal Championship run, he's just so funny, so effortlessly funny. And I think he is able to do story stuff that is so complex. I mean, look at like his involvement in the Bloodline story. Like he was a very pivotal player in that, in a way that makes sense. Up until today, when he's taken this angle that like I was talking with this with a few people where I was like, look, I get that everybody's going to be happy. I'm sorry, I'm getting so off the topic of the question, but everybody's going to be happy that Roman's back. Are we just going to forget that he was like the worst guy in existence for like 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that he's somebody that's out here that can be like, yo, like like, what are we doing? Are we forgetting this? Like, what happened? Where's the plot? Um, this is great. Hi, Ty. Um, Children of Heart. Yeah, so I think I would really love to do a story with him. I think I would love to do like an angle like oh, don't meet your heroes or something. I know that he's like the sweetest guy ever.
Right.
Yeah, Kevin Steen was always a big dude. Steen too, like, and I think too, like when he was in his Steen era, like, man, he was brutal. He was brutal, and I love that too in a wrestler, like, or in a character too, where they can
Right.
just like be like devastating. He's like, so I think the stipulation. Hmm, I think we could probably come up with something creative in a last man standing match.
Hmm.
His last man standing match with Roman during the pandemic was really creative. I love that spot with the handcuff. It's a shame that the key wasn't working, so Roman had to like get up on his feet. But regardless, yeah, I think we could work something kind of creative there. And I can't put myself over Kevin. Can't put myself over Kevin. So Kevin's up. Kevin's going up.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna ask you which version of Kevin would you like to face?
Oh man, the hipster in me wants to be like, yo, I want to face Steen. Oh, uh, uh, we'll put it on a big stage. We'll do Wembley, bro. Man, we're gonna pack out Wembley, man. Main event that.
All right.
You know, the funny thing is, when you said Kevin Owens, I immediately already had a good storyline for that. Just as soon as you said his name, but especially seeing how your character is, how you are, it would be so much fun, enjoyable. Like saying, like, look at you, you were a joke. And then I could see you on the next night dressed up as Kevin Owens and playing like him as a clown, which would piss him off to a T.
Yeah.
Just like when you did the Hulk Hogan thing when you were looking for your movie, that was ingenious. I loved it. As a Hulk Hogan fan, I loved it. So,
Oh, thank
and
you.
Willie Tiny in LA will tell you, even though I'm in Virginia right now, I was too hyped for this show, knowing that you were coming on. Willie Tiny will
Yes.
back me up on that because
Yeah.
I was like, he was like,
I'm
Will, me and
honored.
LA got it. I was like, no, dude, no matter what we do, I have to be on this show for Brian Murphy. I was that energetic to see and hear you, dude.
Oh
That's
man,
the
I'm
truth.
honored, man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no.
No doubt.
I saw there was a question about the Hulk Hogan gimmick, and that was during like the whole like trying to find like the move, right?
Right.
And I was like, the, I don't wanna kind of give away like why I was choosing what yet. It's so dumb, like the payoff for this. But I was like, oh, I'll do the leg drop. And so I was like, oh, for the videos, I can just do like bits about Hulk Hogan, and I can come out dressed up like Hulk Hogan.
That was
And
great.
That was
thank you.
great.
Yeah, talking about all the little Murphsters and Murphy Mania is gonna run wild on you. 14-inch pythons, man. Uh, yeah, I
Your
got,
house
I
first
got
thing.
the, yeah, I got to work with Cowboy Cardi on that one. For the interview. But so we were doing that, and then it didn't end up happening. I was going to come out as NWO Hogan next week for the actual match.
Oh,
Um,
that would have been
but
great.
yeah,
Oh,
things
that
just
would have been
changed. Yeah,
If you still won with the
yeah,
roll up.
yeah. I would have. I think I would have like missed it and just sold it like Family Guy, just and then somehow got into a roll up. I don't know how, but that is one
That
thing I
was
do kind of
gold.
miss from
That
like
was gold.
that
the
was good.
street. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's one thing I gotta miss from the streak is like, okay, what's the funniest way that we can get to a roll up? But well, one day I'm sure we'll come back. Yeah.
You have any plugs or upcoming bookings you would like to talk about?
I do. If I
You
can.
have T-shirts, right? You have T-shirts. Where can you get your T-shirts?
ProWrestlingTees.com. I got this one, and then a couple silhouette shirts. That's just kind of like my beard and
Oh,
the remaining amount of my hair and my eyebrows. Um, and then yeah, that's on Pro Wrestling Tees. Let's see. This Friday at Newman University in Delaware County, Pennsylvania, we have Recovery
Aston.
Plan.
Aston, PA.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Aston.
Yes,
Yeah.
Aston.
In
Free
conjunction
show. Free show.
with the show, yes sir. Three Legacies, their crew's going to be out there. I heard that Jesus Rodriguez might be around. You know, I'll be there. It's in conjunction with my company. Actually I'm still at the office for MVP Recovery. That's our my street job. And then Saturday, we got Monster Mash at the world famous Monster Factory in Paulsboro, New Jersey. Going to see the Supersonic Championship decided. Who knows? Who knows? But we're gonna have a wonderful battle royal for that, as well as Nick Petit and Mike Z going for the heavyweight title. Um, Brand X Wrestling on November the 2nd.
Is that official yet?
I mean, if it, I mean, official on my.
Let's make it official right now.
Official. Let's go.
There we go.
Let's
I
go.
want the cat out of the back. But House Party 3, is that Ty Awesome?
That is Ty Awesome.
Ty Awesome in the Cream World Order?
Yes.
Hey, we're gonna do it. I'm so excited. Back alongside Ty Awesome after tagging together at the world famous Monster Factory some months ago. Very very excited for that. And then AXW United We Slam on November 9th. And then the following week, last one, Monster Factory is bringing back Turkey Slam. Biggest show of the year for us. So November 16th will be that, which will be Turkey Slam Rumble. Excited.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Any more questions?
Yes, I got one for Brian Murphy.
Yes, sir.
You're not sick of any fruit roll-ups now, are you?
Yeah, that's man. That was the coolest thing when it was kind of like received, and I think it was from Rasmus friends. They threw in the fruit roll-ups, and at first I was like, wait, what is? Roll-ups.
Yes.
That's really really funny. So to see the reception on that was really really cool. Yeah, Ty Awesome. Real quick, Ty Awesome. And I've always wanted to, every time I see him, I'm like, dude, you're the best. But like, you look at his talent, and it speaks for itself and what he adds to a locker room. But for real, the vibes that he brings are immaculate. Just like the chillest guy, always like happy and ready to make people smile, give them a good laugh, and just like a nice supportive dude. Dude, Ty, we're gonna show the Cream World Order what's up. We're gonna show them what's up, Ty. You and me. Yeah.
Ty, you can comment on your match if you're still here. We just announced it, made it official. Sponsored by the Three Wheels of Wrestling podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. Oh yes, and I think November 17th is We Are One, as Joe Hale mentioned. By the way, Iron Claw, Dave, yes, fantastic movie. My girlfriend loves the Von Erichs, obsessed with them.
Yeah, you want, Brett?
Hey, Willie Tiny,
Yes.
I got a question. So, are you able to get our closing going down? Because I got a good way of closing out the show.
How you want to do that?
Okay. He's Brian Murphy from the world famous Monster Factory.
Yes, sir.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, well, the
We
threat.
got a comment. We got a comment by Ty Awesome.
Hey, appreciate you,
Appreciate you
brother.
guys.
For real. Anybody who's looking for a good person to have around, Ty is gonna do it. And like, yo, Children of Heart, COH versus CWO.
Oh,
Yo, we're bringing it to X Brand Wrestling, and man, it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a night to remember. November 2nd.
dose.
That's right. Oh.
Hey, glad to hear, Joe.
Kitty cat. King Peace loves you.
Appreciate you, my guy. Oh man, for real, Children of Heart, that's a good trifecta right there. Roll up for
For
life,
life.
Roll up
for
for
life,
life.
brother.
For life. Yes, sir. Dead air.
Yeah.
Working out the kinks.
Yeah. Let's see. I guess while we're here, I'll also plug in AXW returning on December the 7th as well, Orisburg, Pennsylvania. And let's see. Hell yeah, dude, absolutely. Children of Heart roll ups for life, absolutely. Dude.
Where's the t-shirts at?
And also, t-shirt, yeah. All the t-shirt roll up for life, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, Ty, Nick Petit was telling me, he's like, dude, you got to get a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger shirt.
Oh!
Yes.
So, like, Ty,
For real. For real.
Let's do it. Let's go.
The theme music for Joe's question, that's Willie Hutch's "Let Me Be the One." That was used as a sample in. Oh yeah, which one is a good question, because there's also the Children at Heart theme was a gem that Cam and his fam found that just perfectly fit in. But for "Let Me Be the One" by Willie Hutch, that was used as a sample in Brockhampton's "The Ending," and I remember just hearing that song and thinking, "Oh man, that'd be great." And then I listened to the original song, and I was thinking of like, "Oh man, this kind of fits the like goofy nature," and also I was using it in clips in like the videos leading up to the debut of I had that gimmick of like, oh, I'm gonna keep trying to get a match and it keeps getting cut off, so I kept using it in those clips. That was a Brett Waters idea too. The whole like keep teasing your debut and it keep getting cut off. So big credit to him on that one. I feel like that kind of solidified being able to get into the ring.
Nice. Questions.
Let's see if there's any more. I don't think there's any more. I think we'll just take it home.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, but this one works.
Get ready to rumble!
This is the Three Wheels of Wrestling podcast.
There you go, Brian.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Maybe you got to play them in order.
Yeah, it's a pleasure having you on.
I appreciate the support in I will feel your presence in our corner at
Yes.
Xpred.
For sure.
For sure, for sure.
Big time.
I'll let you guys here, honorary Children of Heart. You know,
Yes.
Yes.
Children at heart. Children at heart.
Children of Heart, Children of Heart. Yo.
All right. Well, let's take this home.
CEO, wait. CEO, wait.
Everybody, have a good night. Brian Murphy, thank you for your time.
Thank
for
you.
your time, sir.
We will see you soon.
Take great care.
All right. You don't have to go nowhere yet, but